Before we begin, can we talk about the final swing suit from No Way Home? Photos of the brand new day suit are now online, and I love that they seem to be using the final swing suit as the main suit, which is perfect because I already have the figure. I have to admit, I wasn't a fan of the final swing suit because it only had 2 seconds of screen time, and it looked very CGI. But I'm glad Marvel is proving me wrong, because the brand new day suit looks amazing, almost unreal. And these are just the behind the scenes shots too. I hope they don't CGI over the entire thing, because the suit looks so good. The way it fits, the material, the shine, it's near perfect. And I also have to say, I did a pretty good job painting mine. The original figure had these thick black web lines. They're fine for comic or cartoon Spider-Man, but they just don't translate well onto the live-action Spider-Man figures. I also gave the suit a more metallic blue. Anyway, let's compare. Let me recreate this pose here. Okay, not a perfect match. The first thing that pops out to me is the shade of red. I love that the actual suit has more of a truer red. You guys know I strongly dislike the Hasbro orange red. You know what? My web lines aren't that far off. I used the gunmetal silver on mine and it's pretty close to what's on the actual suit. I still wish the webbings are more subdued though. They're still too distracting in my opinion, especially around the eyes. How many suits do you think Tom is gonna wear in this movie? I feel like there's gonna be at least 3. This one here, a temporary one he has to wear as usual, and the final battle one. That one's probably the Doomsday suit too. Anyway, what do you think? Do you like my take on the final swing suit? Check out that video if you haven't already. Alright, back to the Fantastic Four. Hasbro gave these figures this pastel blue color scheme. It's honestly not a bad color, but I want the colors on my figures to be closer to what they had in the movie. So I started with Reed Richards, because I wanted to know if the blue is gonna work. And I also wanted to see if the paint would crack on the bendy arms. And it's been a couple of days. I haven't really bent the arms much since, but I do see a little bit of cracking. It is not super obvious from afar, so I'm gonna leave it for now. But I did see some comments recommending some other mediums I can use, such as liquid latex, Prose aids, and fabric paint. I ordered a small bottle of liquid latex. I will test it on the arms once the cracking becomes unbearable. And now that I got the correct shade of blue, it is time to work on the next member of the Fantastic Four, the Thing. This is the second best looking figure from this wave, a close second after Mr. Fantastic. The sculpting on these figures are great, even though Ben Grimm had a shirt on for the majority of the movie. Let's deconstruct this figure. While this isn't exactly screen accurate, I prefer the Thing to be shirtless. Unlike the other 3, Ben is the only one with a permanent physical change. So it probably makes more sense for him to wear clothing since he often struggles with his appearance. But I prefer this look of his because it's clobbering time. I love the way the body is sculpted. You can see the individual pieces of rock on his body, hands, and face. But there is this waxy shine on it that makes the body look more like it's made out of soft clay rather than rocks. As for the rest of the figure, the blue should be punchier like Mr. Fantastic, and the watch needs a bit of paint so that it looks more metallic. This shouldn't be too difficult to do. So... Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. Whether it's repainting my figures or making diorama displays, I love making things look awesome. My goal is to elevate my figures so they can shine on my display. Join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Let's start with the blue. I already know this neon blue paint is gonna give me the right shade of blue, but this particular bottle of paint is pretty sheer. so I'm gonna need a handful of layers. I need to add enough of it until it matches Reed's suit. After a couple of layers and painting the joints, I am now ready to do the belt. It's missing quite a bit of details. I'm gonna add those silver buttons back by dotting them with a toothpick. There's also this buckle right next to the fore. Because of its rectangular shape, I'm gonna continue using the toothpick instead of a brush, just because I have a bit more control with it. There is another buckle on the other side. I'm gonna paint this one black, so there's more variation on the belt. And now that I got black on my toothpick, I'm gonna redefine the strap. It's kinda uneven on my figure. And finally, a couple more vertical lines on the belt. Alright, time to work on the rocky texture. When I look at photos of the thing from the movie, the first impression I get is that the colors are softer, especially when compared to the Fanforstic counterpart. It's not as dramatic or exaggerated. The base color on the figure is pretty spot on. It just needs a bit more texture. So I'm going to start with the highlights. I'm going to dry brush a light warm beige color on the high points and edges of the rocky texture. This will also give it a matte finish, making it more dry and terrain-like. Now to make the rocky texture pop even more, I'm going to go over the crevices with the dark brown. I opted not to do a black wash because I feel like that's going to end up too dramatic. It may work for a cartoon or comic book version, but when you look at the thing from the first steps, the shadows on him aren't that dark. In fact, looking at this still from the movie, the darkest area is the seat or object he's sitting on. The shadows on his body is nowhere near black at all, even if he's backlit here, so a dark brown should do the trick. Alright, here's the... you know what? I'm still not satisfied. It still does not look rocky enough. The texture is still too smooth. I want it to look like it's rough to the touch. So, I'm gonna do what I did to Sandman. Using a dry, stiff brush, I'm gonna stipple some brown and light beige onto the body. The goal isn't to be precise or anything like that. In fact, the more random it is, the better. I just want to build it up until it looks like it's made out of rocks. The idea is to avoid blending the colors into each other. One final thing to paint, the watch. I'm going to repeat what I did. A base layer of black, and then go over the entire thing with the silver. And seal it with a glossy varnish. Alright, here's Ben Grimm all painted. The before was good, but the painted version is definitely superior. Just look at that difference in texture. The painted one has a much more realistic rocky finish. It actually looks rough. You could cut your fingers if you're not careful. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Let me know down below. This is probably one of the least stressful figures to paint because it's hard to mess up in my opinion. As long as you don't go overboard, it should be fine. What's really nice with Reed and Ben is that their faces were already pretty great to begin with. They just need their more vibrant suits, and a bit of touch up here and there, and they'll end up looking even more lifelike. Oh, that's right. Since Ben was relatively easy to do, I decided to challenge myself and made a little Herbie. He played a semi-important role in the movie. He's practically the 5th member. And I also made him posable with swappable arms too. This was my first attempt at H.E.R.B.I.E. He turned out okay. Some of the pieces were a bit annoying to fold and glue due to their size, like the arms and the little booster things around his body. I'm gonna make some changes and put the updated version on my store. If you're interested in building your own H.E.R.B.I.E, feel free to check it out. Time to take some photos. The thing looks absolutely amazing in photos. This is where you can see all the little specks of paint I added. Now I have to admit, I can see why some people may not be a fan of this figure due to its minimal range of motion. It is a bit disappointing that he can't put his fists together, so he's kinda stuck doing very basic poses. Luckily, I'm not that good at doing dynamic poses anyway, so this doesn't bother me too much. Just look at these photos. I can't complain when he looks this good. Do you like my attempt at the thing? Give this video a like and check out H.E.R.B.I.E at my store. Subscribe to see me work on the rest of the wave. The ones that are left are trickier, so it's gonna get more challenging from here on. So until then, stay inspired and I'll see you soon. I can make it, so can you.